Most of the community action officers actually set up programs as to how to run the neighborhood watch. And I'll invite Ms. Bridgman to just give you a brief idea of how that works, having formulated themselves and so.
Yes, in relation to the neighborhood watches, it's very simple, and
Thank you.
thank you. It's very simple, and as we put it in a nutshell, is basically the community policing themselves. And when I say policing themselves, not taking the law into their own hands, but being the brother and sister's keeper. If you see anyone strange in your area, you take a note, you share that information with your neighbors, and if, by extension, you want to give that information to the police, you can do that. I mean, it's free to call the Crime Stoppers, because some people may have a little issue sometimes informing the police, but if there's anything that you see in your community that you think that the police should be aware of, you can call the Crime Stoppers. In relation to the neighborhood watches, we encourage the residents to canvass the interests amongst themselves, because back in the day, you find that the police officers were the ones going forward and establishing the neighborhood watches, and then the residents somehow lost interest. But if you buy into something, if it's your effort into it, you find that the residents pay more attention. So it somehow changed the wheel in that the residents usually canvass the interest, see how many persons are interested in establishing a neighborhood watch, and the community officer would come in along with the crime prevention officers and have a meeting. It's a very simple meeting. You just outline what is a neighborhood watch, and you ask for at least a minimum of 2 persons, contact persons for that area, where if there's information that has to be shared between the police and that particular area, you have someone that you can contact. 1 person is a no-no, because if that person is off island, then who is going to be the second person or a person you can contact? We have some brochures here that gives a very good outline of the neighborhood watch and how you can set it up. After we have the first meeting, sometimes at that meeting you may have persons who are willing to be chairpersons or the president or captain, and the second person. We take their contact information and we forward that information to the crime prevention office. You then would get a sign that you can mount within the area showing, well, this is a neighborhood watch area. And recently, we have been given some new signs. From time to time, sometimes twice a year, 3 times a year, the community officer would come in and have meetings and inform the residents of what is happening in the area. However, based on that contact person, if it's something that has to be shared urgently, the police officer for that area then would send that information or contact that person, whether it's by email or telephone, and give them the information that they share to the other residents. At the meeting as well, you compile a list of all your residents and their contact information. So it's like one big family, and you share whatever information you have by telephone, email. That's how it's done. Very simple. No expense whatsoever. You get 1 sign free from the crime prevention office, and any other signs now you pay $25, because that sign has to be made and it's not free. The material is not free. So that's basically it. Thank you.
I think the key to the neighbourhood watch succeeding is maintaining that communication between the police and that particular group. And in there is really where the problems lied in the past, in my view. And so the hard part is maintaining that communication. So you have to have people who are invested in that area, who really want to do it. Because if you've got people on who are not interested in neighbourhood watch, or just want to pay lip service for this week or this month because something specific's happened, it's destined to fail. And that's really the problem that we've had in the past. So we've got to change. It's a mind shift. It's a total, view change. We aren't perfect, and police be police. We change rules regularly, and as a result of that, people change. So we have to make sure people come in to take over from the next person with the same drive and vigour that we're going to maintain it. And again, in there lies the problem, because it's not always human nature dictates that we don't always find that. So it ain't easy, but hopefully we have some very dedicated people in our community action team. And they are very dedicated, and they're there to try and maintain that communication.
What I'm getting from you guys here is that with all the intelligence, all the resources at your availability, okay, you still depend on us to do your job. I mean, that's what I'm getting. Honestly, you guys have all the resources. You understand? All the resources. You know what's going on, right? And you still sit there and tell me that you need my help. If I had your resources, I wouldn't need no help. I know what I have to do. That's all I gotta say.
Can I remind you that you are actually one of our resources? We, the police, cannot reach into our pocket. It's not MacGyver, it's not TV. Our resources are primarily the public. Primarily the public. I said earlier that police are the public and the public are the police. We can't do it without your help.
I understand that, but the point don't make it. The point don't make it is, right? You guys knew. You guys knew. You have the ability, you have the law to do this and do that. I don't. Right? I don't. I'm one individual.
Mark,
I'm one individual.
I think he brings up a very good point. Just if you look at, in recent days, we've actually had some really strong successes, and the commissioner today on the talk show talked about it. We've had an unprecedented amount of individuals that have actually come before the courts for gun crimes. We've had an unprecedented level of convictions. One of the critical things that we take responsibility for is the forensic evidence. We've taken a number of pleasure in saying what we do in terms of our manpower. One of the things that we could not do is get people to go to court and to stand in front of a jury. Those were people from those communities. We can only be as strong as the people in our community. If the police came into my community right now and all the bad guys ran, who would they go for the information? They have to go to somebody in the community that they trust. You started off by answering your own question. You said you want to come to us, the community. Yes, because you are a critical part of our resource tool. Nobody should be dumping everything on you, and I understand that, and we're clear on that. But what we're saying now to you as a member of the community is, we need you, and we make no apologies for that. We're saying we need you to be an active part of the equation, and that's not something we've always said. And the community told us all for that. They said, you're coming into our community and you're doing things your way. Ask us. So now we're coming back to you and saying, how can we better serve you? And if every community model around the world, every community model, at the top of the pyramid is the community. So we're asking you, as a member of our community, is help us help each other.
Sir, there's always a consequence for your action. Right?
Yes, sir.
Are you prepared to help me, protect me, and my peoples?
Well, I think you said, are we, your people?
Are you prepared?
I think our people, use the word "our" and we're fine. I think we're all in this together.
Right. Understand?
We're all in it together.
And without being specific, I know instances where you left people hanging. I know instances where you left people hanging.
Well,
And I'm not prepared to do that because I got too much on the line. Come on, man. Come on, man.
First of all, I'm going to piggyback back on the no loitering issue. What is the normal procedure if you have no loitering signs up in your place, in your business establishment, and you still have a problem with people there, maybe, I can understand 30 minutes because they could be waiting for a food item. When it goes to 1 and 2 hours, and, you know, a few times I drive across and I still see the same people there, how is that supposed to be handled? Would I have to call the police or just in passing, do they,
Well,
how is that?
if I may suggest, if you particularly have a problem with loitering, you call the police, okay? As has been rightly pointed out, this is the majority of the community action team. However, we have other police officers that are obviously patrolling the area in the west and other places, obviously. We are not everywhere. We can't be everywhere, every single minute of the day. So it's really important that the issues that some people may say are of minor nature, i.e. loitering, compared to what we've been talking about, murders, etc., we don't discriminate about it. If you have a problem, you call the police. Okay? If you don't feel as though it's getting addressed, speak with us directly. Either myself, my two colleagues here, anybody here actually. You know, we're here to help. I don't really want to go down the line of what we should be doing with no loitering, but what I can say is we are here to help. And I promise you, if you have a problem, I will listen to your problem. And this goes for anybody here. I will listen to your problem and we will try and address it together. Because that's what it's about, right? It's about working together.
Right, but at the end of the day, what is the, how can I say it? If you get certain people just loitering in a no loitering area on a regular basis, is that just after the move on? Is it taken to court or what? What is the procedure? That's what I want to know. If it continues.
I mean, in the first instance, you know, we give the people, we give those persons the opportunity to correct that behavior and we would move them on. Sometimes we give them a second chance, but, you know, if it continues, then, you know, we can place them before the courts and have them dealt with that way.
That's my first question. My second question, is there any way that barges can be banned or made illegal?
If I could quote the new minister, I believe he's actually raised that question. He's raised that question, and I think he's actually taken direction, taken consultation.
The middleman plan thing, but that's one thing that to me, that's one of the issues, to me, that's just like carrying a gun.
Well, again,
Because it's all included in the same, you know, they're using that as a protection to do what they have to do.
Mark, again, that's one of the things that has actually been a critical issue now that is brought up. It's been brought up at several different levels, and I can assure you that is something that is being looked at a very high level. And hopefully we have something to report to the public in a few months.
And the third thing, maybe it's addressed to you, Mr. Gaines, because you're on the Road Safety Committee.
Yes, ma'am.
My business is right on the corner of Norway and Main Road, Somerset. Something needs to be done about the road there, because guaranteed tourists are coming. You have an accident there practically every day. And it's something to do with the surface of the road. And because I pray, nobody's been killed yet. But it's a damn
What is the
corner.
road?
I pray over that corner because right on the corner by Shannon Cross, it's very dangerous. They just slide. I mean, I don't have to come out of my store. I know there's an accident outside. So it's really, it's very dangerous.
So that's my last question. How effective has the CCTV been? Because I come across it's like business as usual.
CCTV.
Is that
how effective?
Sharon Cross you're talking about?
Which, you talking about CCTV?
Yeah, in the West, yeah. How effective has it been?
In the West, I can say that
Is it up and running?
in some areas, yes, it is.
And somewhere else it's not?
In some areas, it's being put in place.
Okay.
And
How effective has it been?
I would say very effective.